Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It's Expresso right here on SABC3. We're talking about a very important topic this morning, gender equality. Now, it's one of the most debated topics around the world, and although we live in arguably one of the most advanced times when it comes to equality, the statistics are rather disappointing. Now, on Sunday, the 27th of September, 80 global leaders, including UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon, President of the People's Republic of China Xi Jinping, and Chancellor of Germany Angela Merkel, met at the United Nations in New York to discuss the global leaders meeting on gender equality and women's empowerment. Now, the initiative is one of the 17 sustainable goals proposed by the UN to be reached by 2030. Ahead of the conference, UN Under-Secretary General and Executive Director of UN Women, Phumzile Mlambo-Ngcuka, said that this is the most ambitious universal effort since the United Nations Declaration of Human Rights in 1948.
This is the first time that leaders at this very high level of head of state have to sit down and deliberate and commit to women and girls exclusively. Progress has been slow and uneven. We still have too much violence against women. Poverty is much more pronounced amongst women. Even though we passed a lot of good legislation, that legislation wasn't always implemented fully, and therefore the anticipated impact of the legislation was never experienced by women and girls.
South African women have always been at the forefront of fighting for equality. Val Boje, editor of Pretoria News, says one of the most significant demonstrations was the 1956 march against pass laws, where thousands of women proved that when you strike a woman, you strike a rock.
Try and imagine what it was like. The apartheid laws, repressive laws were enforced, and a group of women decided so far and no further. Women from all walks of life came together and united, walked up through the gardens of the union buildings, up the steps to hand over a petition. It was going to take another 30 years, in fact, before the pass laws were repealed. The commitment the women made on that day was that they would not rest until discriminatory practices no longer existed in South Africa.
Times may have changed, however, women still remain the most marginalized group in society as they face discrimination in their homes, workplaces and communities.
When I look back on it now, I believe that we were marginalized as women. The whole system in the office was one where we had to call our bosses Mr. This and Mr. That. And when we were assigned jobs, the women were assigned the softer jobs, while the young men were sent out on the harder news jobs. But I believe the situation has changed completely over the years that I've been in journalism. And I really do think that the young women who work at the Pretoria News and in other media organizations now are not marginalized. I think the whole atmosphere in the office has changed, and it's one which is much more inclusive.
Women spend 16 million hours a day collecting water compared to men who spend a mere 6 million hours. Only 5% of the CEOs on the Fortune 500 list are females. Women earn 24% less than men.
If we want to aid the process of rights of women, it's very important, I think, that we start with our children. It's important that children understand that boys and girls should receive equal opportunities in education so that they can have equal opportunities in life.
In order for society to progress, equality among men and women is essential. It's not just a United Nations 2030 dream, but a goal that is achievable.
Gender equality certainly is one of the most important of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals proposed by the UN. Also included on the list are quality education, affordable clean energy and zero hunger. Now, a good place to start in achieving all these goals comes back to what the editor of Pretoria News said about educating our children from a young age. So if you're watching with us, please continue the discussion on our Facebook and Twitter feeds. We would love to hear what you have to say about the matter. We certainly have come a long way, but we have a long way yet to go as well. So please go to Expresso Show on Twitter or Expresso Morning Show SABC3 and give us your comment.